beginning writers should study religiously. Why is that? Well, for starters, it is a textbook example of a high concept comedy. Now, trying to describe what a high concept is can sometimes get a little hard. It can be a little bit like, well, pornography. But it's awfully hard to put into words what exactly goes into making a great high concept, but you know it when you see it. And in terms of Groundhog Day, that's definitely what you want in a high concept comedy. It is a concept it works so well as a high concept comedy that the term Groundhog Day has worked its way into our lexicon. When you seem to be reliving the same experience over and over again, you say, "Oh, I got that Groundhog Day feeling again," and that's what you want. You want something simple, something simple, but also something visual, something you can hold in your hand, almost touch. Something that gives that conveys a specific experience or set of circumstances. That is what you want a high concept to evoke, and this script does it so well. It takes a story idea that has been used before, but they use it to such great extent here, and it's more than just an idea. The difference between having a good concept and a good idea, is demonstrated very well in this script. Good concept is sort of like a seed from which a great tree can grow out of, and this is a perfect example of that. We don't just introduce the idea that he's reliving the same day and then just sort of leave it around. No, no, no. The problem throughout the entire film is that he is stuck in this one time loop over and over again and can't get out no matter what he does. And that is the entire story. Without that concept, there is no story. And what a story it is. That leads us to the second point to make. There are lots of jokes, some very funny jokes, as you should have in a comedy, but it all revolves around the characters. The reason that Groundhog Day gets such praise is that a lot of people say that it's a character study masquerading as a high concept comedy. I don't necessarily buy that, because the high concept sort of lends itself to character exploration. This character is stuck in this particular problem. Why? Well, he tries a whole bunch of things to get out of it, and in doing so, he reveals more and more about his character, and he goes in directions that he goes into different directions. He expands his character. We see more and more of him. We see some very sympathetic moments. We see some pretty sad and some kind of dark moments with this character as he struggles with this dilemma. And I think a lot of high concepts actually lend themselves to this kind of character development, but it's just that not as many directors and writers, go the extra mile to go that far. This is a case where the writer and director and performer all went the extra mile and delivered what was a great performance and a great character and a great piece of writing. When you think about it, a high concept sets up a dilemma. Well, a dilemma is okay in an intellectual sense, but you don't really have a story, an emotional story, until you have a character you can relate to, a character you like, or a character you find interesting. Try to tackle this problem, and how he tackles that problem, how he deals with the high concept, that reveals something about his character. So it's not like they were reinventing the wheel with this movie, but they were just simply taking it to its logical extremes. This is inside. That's the reason why it's such a good teaching script. These are inherent inside good. This is just inherently good screenwriting technique. If you come up with a good high concept, whether it be comedy or drama, you have the potential for some really good character development. You just have to go in that direction. And the final point to make, is that this script does a great balancing act between edginess and sentimentality. It has an unabashedly happy ending, but that happy ending is earned, and that's something we will find in other entries in this list. Happiness has to be earned by your character, but also It has good edginess to it. This is still the quintessential Bill Murray role, and just I can't think of anyone else who could have played this character as well as Bill Murray, and that's speaks to just how edgy it does get. Uh, but again, this is inherently good, just inherently good screenwriting. Uh, you know, what exactly did this character do to deserve getting stuck in a time loop in the first place? He can't start. He has to have a few problems with the rest of the world in order to find himself in such a dire predicament. And they sort of address that. They set him up to be, while he's still, interesting, even a little likable. He even a little, even a little likable. I mean, you can't help but like him because he is funny. He does have his problems, and that's where the edginess comes from. And taking this character through this journey to come out on the other side, that's where the sentimental, that's where the happy ending comes from. But that's what you're supposed to do with a character like that. You're not supposed to just lead him stay static all the time. You're supposed to, take him through a journey, take him through changes, take him out to the other side, to the other side of things, and that's what this script does, and that's why it is one of the best scripts of recent memory. It's also one of the best teaching scripts that I can think of because it just does what all writers really are supposed to do with their material, but they seldom do it as well or take it as far as this script does.